Welcome back to another episode of SSPT Game Day Analysis. This video is going to examine the 84 plus kilo division of heavyweight women at the 2023 IPF Classic World Championships in Malta. This is without question the deepest and strongest class of heavyweight women we have ever seen. We have three primary contenders, including two previous world champions fighting for gold. The squat world record gets broken 4 times. The deadlift world record gets broken 3 times. This weight class has some shocking developments, including 2 ladies from down under making some serious noise. An upset win and a new world champion is crowned. You don't want to miss the action. By the way, if you want a more detailed look into all of my game day strategy that I discuss in my videos, check out my game day coaching manual in the link below. Meanwhile, sit back, enjoy the video, drop a like, subscribe, share, and a comment, and thank you so much for watching. Having a look at our 84 plus kilo nominations. Ranked number 1 is Bonica Brown of the United States of America, legendary lifter, certainly in the conversation for greatest of all time. She has won 7 IPF world championships in the classic division, multiple time world champion in equipped, world games winner. She's done it all. Very consistent lifter, ranked first. 2021 IPF world champion Brittany Schlater of Canada is ranked second. And certainly right behind her is Sonita from Belgium. And just off her heels is Emile Mergier from France, big bench presser. And of course, at 5th is Tasi of New Zealand. We're also going to be taking a look at Natalie Lala of Australia. She's ranked 7th here, but is going to make some noise with a potential world record in the deadlift. I want to remind you here, the nominations are merely the totals that the Federation should have submitted with regards to their specific athlete in terms of what total they use to qualify for the championships. These are not necessarily their personal bests. Sometimes they are. And as I always say, the nominations do not necessarily hold true to form. We don't hand out medals for nominations. We hand out medals for the actual competition. Taking a look at our scouting report and our top 3 lifters, legendary lifter Bonica Brown is our top ranked lifter. She's definitely the most experienced. She has the world record in the squat and total, will likely use a chip in the squat. She's reliable, makes a lot of attempts, but has been known to struggle on deadlifts with lockout. So let's keep that in mind and be on the lookout. We've got 2021 IPF world champion Brittany Schlater, ranked 2nd on total. She's extremely consistent, making 8 attempts out of 9 on average. Superb execution, not prone to red lights, which is really a big deal with the heavyweight women who have a tendency to struggle during the deadlift. Her lifting is exemplary. She's very well-rounded and is probably the dark horse competitor of the group. We've got fan and crowd favorite Sonita from Belgium, big squatter, big deadlifter, potential world record in both, can use the chips, tends to struggle with her deadlifts at limit loads. You'll see some ramping and some potential lockout issues. Has hit a 700 kilo SBD week in training. So let's keep an eye out on Sonita. This should be an exciting competition based on the front runners. Here we have a look at our prognosis or forecasted total for the 4 contenders. Tasi will be starting off the squats, followed by Brittany Schlater, Sonita, and Bonica Brown coming in at the end of the flight. You'll notice Bonica has the lowest lot number. So That is not necessarily going to come into play in the squats because she is the strongest squatter of the group and most likely to go last, as you can see on the opener, but also most likely to go last at the end of every round. So that's not much of a factor. A lot of these ladies deadlift or are clustered. You can see the openers closer together in the deadlift. Only 5 kilos differentiate between Brittany and Bonica at 235, and then of course Sonita at 240. So we'll be paying close attention to that come time for the deadlifts. But Sonita has the best lot number, or the highest lot number, I should say, out of these 4 ladies, and she's got the biggest deadlift, so really not a factor, but she'll be pulling last anyhow amongst these 4 ladies. But let's notice that the prognosis total for Bonica Brown is at 650, but not far behind her, right on her heels and at a lighter body weight, is Sonita, and then just behind Sonita is Brittany. So this could really be a dogfight all the way down to the end. The last thing that you'll take notice of is Bonica is the heaviest lifter. So as we know, any of these ladies that are in contention could potentially tie Bonica and win or move up a placing on body weight. Moving into the squats, New Zealand's Tasi opening at 252.5. That's 556 pounds for her opening squat attempt. This is Jules' first World Championships. The Kiwis always travel the furthest, but she has a good support system in place with Team New Zealand. And look at that. Absolutely destroys her opener. Great opening attempt. We've got Brittany Schlater, a woman after my own heart, checking both sides of the bar load to make sure that the correct weight is on the bar. That's an important part of my process and ritual as well. She is opening on 255 kilos, 562 pounds. Kind of a high bar squatter here. Close grip position, a little bit higher on the back than some of the other ladies. Narrow stance. Very upright, hits the hole, smashes it. And that's a 3 white lift from Brittany. We've got the crowd, or fan favorite, if you will, Sonita from Belgium. I believe this is her 3rd World Championships. She is opening on 260 kilos. That is 562 pounds. And smashes her opening attempt. That was a good attempt from Sonita. And now we've got legendary Bonica Brown opening at 270 kilos, 595 pounds for her opening squat attempt. Pay close attention to Bonica here. She is an absolute technician when it comes to squatting. She has a beautiful walkout. She'll stand up, let the weight settle. 1, 2, 3 steps, gorgeous walkout, very stable and secure under the bar. Absolutely a rocket. Crushes the opener. 3 whites, moving into the second round. Jewel jumped 12.5 kilos. Now she's on 265, 584 pounds for the first-time competitor at the World Championships from New Zealand. Coached by Dom Basabas from the New Zealand Powerlifting Academy. And that is a solid-looking second attempt for Jewel. And 3 white lights. Brittany comes back out, checks the bar load again. She jumped up 15 kilos. Now she's on 270, up from 255. This is 595 pounds. Again, kind of a high bar squatter, narrow to moderate stance. She is coached by legendary Canadian deadlift extraordinaire, Bryce Krawcheck. And Brittany makes quick work of that one. That is a solid looking squat. Also, 3 white lights. Fist bumps Garrett Bentley, national team head coach for Canada. Made a lot of great calls all week long with the other Canadian lifters. And now we've got Sonita coming out for her second attempt. This is 277.5 kilos, 611 pounds. She takes her time. She has a very calculated and deliberate ritual. She's not in a rush, uses up a lot of her minute. I'm sure the other ladies are pleased about that, as these flights were rather short. Good. A little bit slower than the first one, but still a very solid second attempt squat. 3 white lights, and she's 2 for 2 so far. Jogs off the platform. We've got Bonica. Now, this is an IPF world record by 0.5 kilos. She's taking 280.5. This is about 618 pounds. This will break her own world record of the squat that she set at the Sheffield back in March. 280.5. Again, she is just a technician in the squat. She's got that 3-step walkout going. Very stable and secure under the bar. 0 oscillation before she descends. Boom. And absolutely smashes a new world record. Apparently, from my understanding, she had doubled that twice in training. So no surprise there. Now we've got Tasi coming out for her third and final squat attempt at 277.5. So she's at 611 pounds. And so we've got multiple squat attempts from women in this flight at 600 plus. Just extraordinary, the squatting prowess of these women. Never seen before strength from the supers. And what a phenomenal attempt call by Dom Basabas. Outstanding, right on the money. That was the perfect attempt call, 3 for 3. She's excited. Brittany Schlater comes out. She is as cool as the other side of the pillow. Very little emotion. Now she's going to take back the world record that Bonica just set. So she is called for 281 kilos on the bar to beat the world record that we just saw from Bonica. So this is 281 on the bar, which is roughly 618 pounds. 619. Takes it deep, struggles a little bit, gets a little bit forward, but is able to make the correction, and good. And she has the new world record. Now we've got Sonita is going to up it even more. So Sonita has called for 285.5 to take the world record back from Brittany at 629 pounds. So this is the third time we've seen the world record broken. Bonica broke it. Brittany took it back. Now Sonita is going to throw her hand into the pile and see what she can do at 629 pounds. This is unparalleled squatting prowess from these women. We've never seen this before at an IPF World Championships on the classic side. Just unbelievable, the depth of talent in this division now. Dunks it, boom, and comfortable, and comes on up. Looks to me like she had at least another 2.5, maybe even 5. That's a 3 white light lift. And now Bonica says, not so fast. She has called for 289 kilos to take the world record back. This is 637 pounds. This will be the 4th time within the flight that the world record is broken. 4 times. She lets it settle. 3-step walkout. Very routine, very ritualistic process from her. Takes it down. Gets a little bit twisted to the right, but smashes it. One red light, in all likelihood, from the side judge on the right-hand side. So that was a 2-to-1 decision. But nevertheless, we're gonna take a look at the replay. Yeah, her left hip looked in from here, but a successful attempt. And so Bonica is in the lead, followed by Sonita and then Brittany and Jules. So those are the top 4 ladies. All 4 of them squatting over 600 pounds is absolutely bonkers. So many men around the world can't even come close to that. So now we're starting the bench press. Jules is opening on 120 kilos, which is 264 pounds for the opening round of the bench press. And smashes the opener. Good call there. Nice and easy. Sonita is going to start with 135, which is 297 pounds. No wrist wraps. You'll notice some of these, the larger, heavier lifters do not wear lifting shoes or shoes with heels. They have flats on. Light touch and smashes the opener. Good, successful lift. Now we've got Brittany Schlater. Hey, this is 142.5. This is what we call in America a 3-plate bench. This is 314, just call it 315 pounds. This is 3 plates in the gym. A lot of men strive to hit this for a lifetime PB and can't even do it. And Brittany makes quick work of that, absolutely smashed it. What a beautiful opener. And now we've got Bonica coming out, giving very detailed and specific instructions to the liftoff guy. Remember, these guys aren't mind readers. It's important to tell them exactly how you like the liftoff. And Bonica is opening on 145 kilos, which is 319 pounds. And she makes quick work of that. So all of the ladies are in on bench openers. I don't think there was a single red light. She fist bumps head American coach Mike Zawolinsky. And here's Jules Tasi for her second attempt. She went up 7.5 kilos. This is 127.5 or 281 pounds. Okay, a little bit slower, a little bit crooked, but a good lift from Jules. She's 5 for 5. Now we've got Sonita setting up for her 3-plate bench, 142.5. This is 314 pounds. We have not had a miss yet from anyone. Everybody has been making all their attempts so far. She doesn't take a lift off. Self lift off. Light touch. And I'm not sure that that's going to meet the standard. Nope, she gets 3 red lights, I should say, with a blue card. So they may have seen some up and down movement. Let's take a look at the replay. Yeah, what they're looking at is the middle of the bar. Perhaps it dipped a little bit. I thought that it kept going up, but clearly the referees saw it differently. So I spoke too soon. That was the first miss of the competition. Brittany coming out, cool as a cucumber, 150 kilos. Again, double checking both sides of the bar, which is very smart. I've had a misload in the bench before, and it can make a big difference. So that's part of her process. I commend her on that. 150 kilos, 330 pounds for her second bench press attempt. She's got a fairly moderate grip. Pinkies on the rings just about. and absolutely smashes that. That's a really good, solid attempt. I suspect they'll go up another 5. 3 white lights. I don't think Brittany has a single red light all day. Here's Bonica. She jumped 7.5 kilos, so now she's up to 152.5, 336 pounds for Bonica's second attempt. Boom, hits that comfortably. A little bit stickier at the top. My sense is the American team will probably only go up 2.5. 5 might be there, but might be a bit risky, so I suspect they'll go up to 2.5. And Tasi is out for her third and final attempt in the bench. And she just doesn't have it. And so that was 132.5. Jewel missed. Now we've got Sonita coming back, trying to right the ship. She missed this on her second on a technicality. So let's see if she can clean it up. Very wise to stay at the same number. You don't want to add weight and add stress and difficulty and anxiety to your lifter, especially in the bench press where you're just trying to hold serve. So 142.5. And yeah, that one looked a lot better. We didn't see any movement of the bar. Yep, and she gets 3 white lights, and deservingly so. So Sonita cleaned that up, hugs the Belgian coach, and we're going to see this, the replay. Yeah, that looked a lot smoother, much cleaner, much more tidy. Good lift for her. So Sonita is 5 for 6. And then we've got Bonica coming out for her final attempt. The Americans did take a small increase. This is 155 kilos, 341 pounds for Bonica's final bench press attempt of the day. Head U.S. national team coach Mike Zawalinski looks on. Bonica gets the lift off. Oh, quick descent and just didn't have it. And so we thought she might have another 2.5, but she just missed it on strength. I don't know if that was a misgroove or what have you. But she came down a little bit more deliberately, and it started coming up just a little bit crooked, almost like she pushed the bar to the left and just wasn't able to sustain it all the way through. All right, so now we've got Canadian Brittany Schlater coming out for 155. This is the same weight that Bonica just missed. So Brittany is trying to snag some extra kilos and close the gap at subtotal. Bonica out-squatted her by 8. And if Brittany can get this, she'll make up 2.5 because Bonica ended with 152.5. Oh, just an absolutely smooth attempt. Great call by the Canadians. She probably had 2.5 more, but smart to take the 5, just building the total. Okay, so we're looking at the standings at subtotal. And on subtotal, Bonica Brown is in the lead at 441.5. Brittany is closing in at 436. Sonita is in third, and Tasi is a distant fourth. However, let's notice that once the opening deadlifts come in, and you'll notice Bonica Brown bumped her deadlift opener from 235 to 240. Sonita bumped her deadlift opener from 240 to 245. The other ladies kept theirs the same. So Sonita and Brittany are going to flip-flop places after opening deadlifts. Their prognosis total will change. So again, we always look at the standings at subtotal, but more importantly, it's looking at the forecasted total after the opening deadlifts, and that's where you begin to assess how the meet might shake out and what kind of strategy and progressions you're going to need to make on second and third deadlifts. All right, our opening round of deadlifts, New Zealander Tasi opening at 222.5. Smashes the deadlift opener at 490 pounds. Very easy for Jewel. Nice opener. Gets in the meat. secures a total. We'll see the replay. Yep, conventional stance, nice and smooth, no technical issues there. And she's moving on to the second round. We've got Canadian Brittany Schlater coming in. Now, based on these deadlift opener changes, after this opening deadlift, Brittany will move from second at subtotal into third, assuming that Sonita makes hers. So she checks the bar load, and she is opening at 235 kilos, 518 pounds. She's got a very narrow, conventional stance. Bam. Absolute rocket. Very clean. A tidy deadlift. And Brittany is in the meet. Fist bumps. Canadian coach. And she's good to go. Now she can begin looking at the other competitors and make a pragmatic jump to the second one. Okay, so we've got Bonica Brown coming out for her opening deadlift. Now they bumped her deadlift from 235 up to 240. They saw Sonita bump hers, and they said, okay, well, we'll go ahead and bump ours as well. 240 kilos, 529 pounds. And not exactly the cleanest looking opening deadlift. And she gets 3 reds and red cards to boot. So the judges clearly didn't think Bonica was locked out. And if you notice on the replay, her knees at lockout look a little bit soft and not certain that she got her hips all the way through. So they called her on lockout. So that is a huge shakeup. They bumped the opener and she missed her opening attempt. So now Sonita is coming out for 245. She's one of the best deadlifters in the flight. 540-pound opening deadlift for Sonita from Belgium. And she can make a serious move now that Bonica has not yet secured a total. Oh, yeah, and stands up very quickly with that one. A lot of room left to spare. That's a 3-white opening lift, and that's a big deal. So Sonita should be brimming with confidence right now. Stands up quickly with that one. As I said, pay close attention to these lockouts now with a lot of these women. Now, we've got Australian Natalie Lala opening with an IPF world record of 258 kilos. I believe her nominated deadlift was 252.5. This is a very aggressive opening attempt, 258 kilos. Personally, I would open a little bit lighter and give more room for progression. But clearly they feel like her ceiling is rather high, or I would assume so, Natalie and her coaches. But she is opening with a world record, and she stands up quick with that, a little bit sticky at lockout, probably a little bit slower than I would tend to like at lockout, but nevertheless, she secures it. Tasi is on 237.5. That's 523 pounds for her second deadlift. And that looked great. Very clean deadlift. No doubt about it. Fist bumps her coach, Dom Basabas. And yeah, she makes quick work of that. That was a good jump for her. Perfect. Locks the knees, hips through, shoulders back. Nice looking opening deadlift. All right, now Bonica is coming out for her second one. She's got to make this lift to stay in the competition. She looks loose. She looks confident, not panicking. Up. And that one didn't look clean either. You can notice she's really struggling, but they gave her the lift 2-1. The head referee called her for a blue card, which is downward movement of the bar. You're allowed to let the weight is allowed to settle at lockout, but unfortunately, that lift got overturned. And so Bonica is really up against it now. She is without a successful total because she hasn't secured a deadlift. This is Brittany on 247.5. This will give her, right now, an IPF world record in total. It will break the world record total of 680. She is at 247.5. It's a 12.5 kilo jump. This is 545 pounds. And that almost looked better than the opener. I mean, that moved like a rocket. She has got to be brimming with confidence right now. All right. And now we've got Sonita at 260.5. So we're looking at about 574 pounds to take the world record back from Natalie Lala of Australia. So the chips are in play. She's going to have a chip added on to her total. And good. Tough at the lockout. She does get one red from the head referee for lockout. Probably not certain if she got all of her hips all the way through, but certainly satisfied the other two referees. Yeah, there it does look like she got all the way through. So that's a good deadlift. So she has taken the world record back from Natalie. But not to be undone, Natalie Lala came out for 268. So she jumped 10 kilos from her opening attempt to 268. So this is about 590 pounds. So not in the running for a podium place, but certainly a deadlift medal. And this is a key attempt because when she makes this, we're going to notice in the last round that she forces Sonita to take a number that she doesn't want to take for positioning. So this is 268. Yeah, and that's a tough deadlift at lockout. Came off the floor very quickly, but really sticky at the top. Not a lot of room left there. All right, so we've got head U.S. national team coach Mike Zawalinski here, kind of directing traffic, telling them to center the bar. This is Bonica. Now, you'll notice she took her belt off and she switched into her weightlifting shoes, and she pulled sumo on the first two. So this is kind of like a Hail Mary, last-ditched attempt here. She's trying to register a total. She does not have a total as of right now. She absolutely has to have this lift to not bomb out of the competition. And yeah, unfortunately, you can tell she does not get her hips through all the way. She struggles at the top, and that is not going to meet the standard. And shockingly, Bonica Brown bombs out of the competition. Does not register. Yes, you can see clearly her hips are not through all the way. That is an unlocked deadlift. Does not meet the standard. So what a shocking development in the super heavyweight weight class for the women. Bonica is out, and her world record squat will not count because she did not register a total. So now we've got Tasi is in podium placing right now. So she's adding to her total. She just jumped up 5 kilos for her final deadlift attempt. And she is securely in third and going to finish out an 8 for 9 day. And just masterful lifting from the Kiwi, Tasi. What an awesome performance. She has got to be ecstatic. Didn't expect any of this to happen. Not her fault. She's not going to complain. She is going to laugh all the way to the bronze medal position on the podium. And yeah, that was a good attempt call from her coach, Dom. And what a great day for Tasi. 8 for 9. Now we've got Brittany Schlater. All right. She jumped up to 10 kilos to 257. This will give Brittany a 693.5 kilo total and take her from second place into first place. So this is a critical deadlift. This is a big moment. Notice how she comes out, never breaks character. Brittany is an executioner here. This girl executes to such a high level. All of her lifts are pristine, flawless, irrefutably good, if you will. And this is a 10 kilo jump and should be well within her wheelhouse. Boom. Yep. Perfect deadlift. 3 white lights. Didn't get a red light all day. Hugs head coach Garrett Bentley. And that puts them in first place. Now, Sonita Muluh coming out for 267.5. All she needed was 5 kilos to overtake Brittany and win on body weight. But because Natalie had called for 268, she simply could not take 265.5 because that would have been a record attempt. So she had to take the next increment up, which is 267.5 or 589 pounds. So this is matter of factly 5 pounds more than she needs to win. This is 2.5 kilos too heavy, but by rule, she couldn't take 265.5. And she's off the floor fast, and she gets it up to lockout and struggled. And it's kind of untidy at the end. And yeah, that's not going to meet the standard. She gets 3 red lights for lockout, insufficient lockout. You cannot protest that attempt. You cannot protest 3 red lights. You can only protest 2-1 decisions. So unfortunate for Sonita. So we've got Natalie Lala, somebody who's not even in the running for podium, by virtue of her deadlift world record, has a direct effect on the outcome of the competition by forcing Sonita to take heavier than she wanted. And that 2.5, I believe, made the difference. I think Sonita would have been able to lock out 5 pounds less. So now we've got Natalie coming out for her final attempt. This is the heaviest deadlift. This is 275.5 pounds, 607 pounds, or 275.5 kilos, I should say, 607 pounds. And this is a huge deadlift for her. The issue is not coming off the floor. She's like a rocket off the floor using the mixed grip. Yep, comes up fast, gets it all the way to the end, and then just really looks like she's not able to punch her hips all the way through and get the shoulders back. Yeah, and that didn't meet the standard. Once again, cannot protest a 3 red light lift. And here are your final standings for the 84+ kilo division. In a shocking development, Bonica Brown bombs out of the competition in the deadlift and fails to register a total. The fatal flaw here was a mistake by the U.S. national team coaches in bumping Bonica's deadlift up to 240 kilos. They originally had it set at 235, which is heavy all by itself. Her personal best deadlift is 252.5 kilos. So even a 235 kilo opener, unless they were projecting much higher, is too heavy of an opener. And then for them to push the panic button, they see Sonita bump her deadlift by 5 kilos. And Bonica was even quoted in the post-game press conference as saying, we needed to make up more kilos. We needed more kilos. Well, this was not the time to push the panic button. As I've said before, some coaches are inexperienced in coaching from behind, and they panic. They're only used to coaching their lifters when they have a lead, and you need not panic. It is absolutely imperative that you get a lift on the board, regardless of the discipline, that you open comfortably and secure a total. And in this particular case, when the American team, and that's Bonica and then the coaching staff, saw that, they were in a dogfight and that Sonita was going to bump her deadlift opener, they panicked. They pushed the panic button and they rationalized in their head that they needed to make up more kilos. And they added 5 kilos to Bonica's deadlift to 240, which is in closer line with a second attempt deadlift, given that your personal best is 252.5. And oh, by the way, Bonica Brown weighed in 3 kilos heavier than she did at the Sheffield, which was approximately 3 kilos heavier than her previous meet. And oftentimes we don't talk about weight gain in the heavyweight classes, but weight gain makes a difference. Particularly, it helps you at Subtotal because it's going to help you in the squat because there's literally and figuratively more of you under the bar, and it helps your leverages in the bench press. Where it hurts is in the deadlift. Super heavyweights, both male and female, have a tendency to struggle in the deadlift because of their body mass. It makes their thighs and their legs make it difficult for the bar to travel up in a straight line fashion. Oftentimes the bar will get caught or hung up on the thighs. It also makes it increasingly difficult for lifters to punch their hips through and lock out. And so this was an absolute fatal, catastrophic error by the U.S. coaching staff to bump her deadlift up an additional 5 kilos, and she just wasn't able to meet the standard. And so hindsight being 2020, if you run the math and look at the numbers, if Bonita had just tied her personal best deadlift at 252.5, that would have put her at a 694 kilo total, which would have been just above Brittany. Now, don't get it twisted. By no means am I saying that she would have won the competition. I think Brittany was capable of more. I mean, she broke the world record by 13.5 kilos. And I think Sonita had more, Lala from New Zealand not, created problems there in the deadlift by not allowing Sonita to take the number that she wanted. Suffice it to say, the American team should have opened lighter, gotten on the board, and at worst case, you're still in the conversation and you're still on a podium versus bombing out and losing altogether. So just a huge error in calculation, mental calculation, not math. This was just a judgment error, a tactical error, and hopefully they will be able to learn and bounce back from this. But let's talk about those who did make the podium. Tasi, coming in from New Zealand, one of the Kiwis, coached by Dom Basabas, had an exceptional day at 8 for 9, and who would have thought at the beginning of the day that she would snag a bronze medal? Just competed exceptionally well, really excited for her and the Kiwis. The New Zealand team is without question on the come up. Sonita Muluh just barely misses first place. I mean, she was 5 kilos out of first place. And if you notice her second deadlift at 260.5, it was tough, but she only needed 5 kilos. She wanted to jump to 265.5 to tie Brittany and win on body weight since she was lighter than Brittany. However, because Lala had pulled 268, she could not take the 265.5 and was forced to take 267.5, which I think literally was just 2.5 kilos too heavy. And so it really cost Sonita a championship. You have somebody who's a deadlift specialist having a major impact on podium placing in the world championship. And what more can you say about Canadian Brittany Schlater? She is now a 2-time IPF world champion in the 84+ kilo class. Just an absolutely exquisite performance. She executed with surgical precision, not a single red light on the day. Head national team coach for Canada, Garrett Bentley, calling a perfect game. And Brittany, hats off to you, congratulations. Executed her lifts to an irrefutable standard and just really an exciting competition to see. And oh, by the way, not only did Brittany increase the world record total by 13.5 kilos, but she tacked on 31 plus kilos to her own personal best total. Just an extraordinary signature performance by Brittany Schlater, who is an IPF world champion for the second time over and punched her ticket to Sheffield. This was a really exciting matchup, strength that we've never before seen from the ladies, and just a phenomenal competition. So congratulations to everyone who competed. Thank you so much for watching the video. Like, comment below, subscribe, share, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Thank you so much for watching.